I'd like to do a channel update and discuss some of the things that I have been working on here the past few months and what I'm going to go on to kind of next. And I'm going to discuss several things because many people have asked either questions or have asked for help with ammunition. I've actually gotten a request about making parts, fabricating some parts for the Carcanos, and I had a common piece or screw that is damaged or broken. So there's a lot of things I'm going to kind of go over in this somewhat of a channel update and discuss. Now, one thing, what I'm going to do, it's different. A lot of times people will see one of my videos and they'll say, hey man, I'm interested in this, or I'd like to know if about this, and they put it in the comments. Now I kind of know that everybody does things a little bit differently than some old timer like me, like speaking directly to people. If you put stuff in the comments or put a request in the comments, chances are I won't see it, because like when I did the series on test firing these Carcanos, there was a lot of videos, I was very busy. I don't check all the comments, okay? And even when I'm just making one video a week or something, I'll go through maybe the first day or two, but then if you put a comment in there, I may not see it. So, in this video, what I'm going to do is two things. Number one, the comment section will be cut off. So that way, if you're not paying attention and try to communicate through the comments, you will not be able to. But in the description box, I will place a link to the email address where you can direct your questions to. And there it is, cova49@yahoo.com. Now I know people are not in the habit of jotting things down or remembering, send me a link. Okay, alright. There'll be an email down in the description portion of this video. Got a question or you're interested in some of the stuff I'm going to discuss, please send an email. I check my email several times a day. And if I get flooded with stuff like I've had, it may take me a few days to respond to you. I try to get back to everyone unless they're asking something totally ridiculous or something I don't understand or whatever. But send an email. Okay. So what I've done the past few months is worked on the Carcano guns. Okay. As far as mill surplus comes, this is a little bit different. There's plenty of them to go around. They've been sold through 4 or 5 different online dealers, and most people nowadays buy their guns online. Okay, they don't go to gun shows, they don't go rummaging through pawn shops and gun stores because of the way our lifestyle has changed. And with this COVID insanity, the gun crisis and everything else, it's all out of whack. So a lot of you have went and purchased these guns, but you're seeing ours, or like me, you go through your dealer, got a dealer that'll do it for you, and order them online. Okay, all of these I've bought online, a bunch of them. So, like I said, I was going to kind of ride the wave because this is the first time in a lot of years there's a lot of these surplus guns, not in too terrible a shape, coming in, and a lot of interest, and people are buying them, anywhere from people who just buy guns because they're not expensive to beginning collectors, which this is not a bad gun to start with, to people that know something about Carcanos and kind of collect them like I do. Okay, so there's a whole varied group of people. And again, now the biggest problem is two things. This particular gun, okay, and this is why I say the Carcano might not be for everybody, alright? The gun needs clips to function with. And right now clips, I remember buying these for $3 at a gun show. You go there, some guy sitting with a box, $3 a piece. I guess Gun Parts Corporation had some, and had some modern reproductions that were $7, $8 each. Those are all gone. So now you're going to have to either go to eBay or Amazon, and the average cost of these things is anywhere from $10 to $12. Some people get more, like $15 a piece for them if you want one or two. But you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, because without them you can't really get the gun to function. The only other alternative is the guy that markets this little single shot block. Now, what's really neat about this thing, like the 8mm, I started doing the research. I have not developed a clip, modified a Carcano 6.5 clip to work in the 8s. And somebody asked me a question today: if I just throw a bullet up there and slam the bolt shut, will I eventually harm the extractor? That is a possibility. So if you get this little block, now I know there's some people that say this is some weird thing, whatever. This is nice. It goes in, it latches, it holds the cartridge down, feeds it so it comes up under the extractor, and in 8mm, this is the way to go until I can figure out a way to design or modify a clip, and I will post that online. Okay? Next thing, ammo. The only people making ammo is PPU. Norma may make it too. I think I've seen some Norma ammo go up for sale. The only difference is PPU ammo is about 20 bucks a box. I don't know what the hell Norma ammo is, because I know Norma brass is about $1 a case, where I can get PPU for about 60, 65 cents a brand new case. So the Carcano in the context of ammo could be problematic. And I have, because Hornady used to make the correct diameter bullet, 160 grain torpedo bullet, but they've gone out of production. Okay? Probably because PPU is wised up. They put their standard, it's 264 diameter bullet in there, and they have two types, 139 grain, 123 grain soft point. And these will work well in some guns, and they will not, okay, especially if you have a warm bore. I used the Hornady bullet because it was at 268, and it worked well, but the drawback was the bullets were anywhere like 70, 75 cents a piece, okay, which a lot of people, that kind of takes the fun out of it when you got to charge them $1.50 a round to reload the ammo for them. Okay, they don't like it. So the bad thing about the Carcano is you need a clip, and the ammunition can get pricey. And a lot of stores don't stock it. It's not something people beat the door down to get, so a lot of stores will not keep it in inventory. You can get it online from several different places, or you can reload. All right, and not everyone reloads. Some people do, some people do not. All right, so the ammunition's kind of sticky, but I have developed a load with PPU's 139 grain bullet with the correct diameter, the 268, it's 267 or something like that. PPU is notorious for having mildly about 1,000 thousandths and a half undersized bullet, what they advertise. Some people have complained about it, but I've taken it out. I've done the videos where I shoot this. It works well in most guns. Okay, you don't know till you try it. Okay, some guns it works okay. Some of them, even though the bore looks better than that, it just don't like it. Okay, and that's just the end of it. Now, I do have a cast bullet, which NOE makes this bullet. Okay, you can get the mold from NOE bullet molds, and it throws out 160 some odd, depending on alloy. I go about 162 and grains, and you can size it to 270. Now, what this does, with the correct powder charge, and a very mild load, this oversized bullet, even if you have a worn out bore, and I proved it if you watch the videos of me shooting the rifles. If you watch down, the last one I shoot is that cast bullet. And it gives exceptional accuracy, or acceptable. In other words, you can actually hit something and kind of keep it in a 2-inch groove, even with a bore that's worn out bad. Okay? So, there's been questions about that. And also, if you have one of these Italian Vetterli 1870-78 15s that is in the 6.5, the cast bullet load is safe to shoot in this. It's very low powered and no harm done, and I shoot these quite regularly with the cast bullet, other than taking a factory cartridge, dumping half the powder out or whatever, you know, who knows. And I've never seen anybody actually test that or try to put a low power load in. The Carcano load only generates about 44,000 psi, or around that, instead of 30, about 44,000 maxed out. So it's not a super powerful cartridge to begin with when loaded within the parameters. But cast bullet can get you shooting this. Now, people have contacted me about ammunition and all these other different things. People have also started to contact me about making screws and different parts and pieces that they can't find. All right. If you're interested in the ammo, I do have, and I did make up a small batch of this stuff. If you're a subscriber or whatever, okay, and don't contact me and tell me you need 500, 1,000 rounds of ammo. That's not what I made. I made about 200 rounds. That I'm willing, if people want to try it because they don't reload or they can't get ammo, I'll sell you a couple 20-round bags of it, okay? And get it out basically to my subscribers and people who are following the channel, so they have a chance to try this new bullet. And then if you want to get it when it comes out commercially from PPU, when they stock it, you got an idea. Because I know right now ammo's tough, and it's tough on me. I've worked on a few projects for people, and I've got some things done that don't really necessarily deal with the Carcano. I got a couple projects going on for people right at the moment. I've completed 1 or 2 of them. And during this crisis, the only reason I can do this is I was lucky enough, through a friend, I did some jobs for him and did some work for him, and I ended up with 5,000 large rifle primers. That's the only reason I can do this. If I had to go out and buy them, I couldn't do it, okay, because people are charging $150 for 1,000 primers, all right. I was lucky enough to get a stash of primers that I can use and do this, and during the crisis, I recommend contact me. I'll discuss what I got, okay, and what I can do for you and what I can send to you. But it's not going to be thousands of rounds, you know, it's like maybe 40 rounds or so, whatever, all right. Now, on that note, I used to go to gun shows, and I had different cartridges available, even if you're not into Carcano. I got some 7.5 by 54 French Moss. I have some of this. I did nice load. I have some of the 8 by 56 R, Hungarian, Romanian. I got some of that I did up. Now that, there we can discuss it. It's not as powerful as the military cartridge. It stepped back a little. I did it more for accuracy, all using brand new PPU components. And it's a mild shooting in the 95s. I have a couple different calibers that I had from my gun show inventories just sitting here. And I'm willing to kind of part out with them because I know things are tough. I've used up some of my supplies myself. a lot of the 6.5 Carcano with the Hornady bullet I used in the testing. Okay, I do have a few boxes of that left, if that's something you're interested in. I do have both calibers for the Japanese, the 6.5 and 7.7. I even got some 30-30 rounds with it's a 170 grain bullet or something. I just was using up some components and sold them to people. So I have several different calibers up and available. If you're interested, send me an email and I'll tell you what I got. Maybe it's something for you, maybe it's not. Cast bullets. A lot of people are buying them from a place, they get them without the gas check, and it's from NOE bullet mold. I know several people have bought them. And if you need the expanding plug, NOE sells it. Okay, I was making them, but NOE sells them. It's cheaper than what I can make it for. So go there and get, and it fits in the Lee Universal Expander. Okay, so been working on that. I'm going to try to clean out my inventory and all these odd things and just kind of clean out the garage, clean out all my different little projects and stashes of ammo that I got lying around and get rid of them. Then I'm going to move back into, still going to work with the Carcano, but I'm getting back into the antique guns. And see, this is, all of this, the bullets have to be cast, everything's custom made, and also there are several guns, the way the chambers are cut, they're designed to use a paper patch bullet. Okay, the 71 Mauser, the French Gras, especially the Gras that has been converted from a chassepots, you have to use a paper patch bullet. Okay, and the Russian Baradin 2, which I recently got. I've been sitting on the dies and everything. I spent quite a bit of money on those dies. I ordered a bullet mold, paper patch bullet mold, and I'm going to have to learn how to paper patch bullets. And I will make some loads in smokeless powder. Now, going into that, getting back into my old antique black powder type guns. In the past, like with Swiss Vetterli, I tried to do things where I show people how to make the ammunition and everything else. What happens is on YouTube, there's a lot of videos where people like to portray this stuff as being easy, kind of a YouTube delusion, alright, where one guy takes a Vetterli or parts of a Vetterli rifle, saws up the case, which he's using the same technique I am, basically, sticks a 44 Magnum bullet on there because it's close to what it should be, and loads it with some sort of black powder substitute, and then goes out and the gun goes off and fires at a hill, and he doesn't have the right length, he's not using a magazine, he just fires 2 cartridges off and oh, that's success. Well, there's a little bit more into it if you want to do this safely and if you want the gun to function correctly, okay? And this is the thing, I tried to work with people on this, and the biggest thing is, what people, is I don't cut expenses in doing this. Like my 6.5 Carcano cast bullets have a gas check, and I use Hornady crimp-on gas checks. And everybody, oh, don't use that, use the, you know, because it adds about 5 cents a piece to the bullet. But you can see the bullet's accurate, works well, okay? I sat down the other day here, just by myself, with 2 different 91 PSs at 50 yards. And if you notice, there's 2 blue patches on this target. Those are my sighters. One 91 shot a little high, and the other one shot a little low. Once I adjusted after the sight-ins, switching between both guns with 2 different types of sight pictures, I was trying to see if I could do it. I kept most of the remaining shots in the diamond. It's half and half. So there's two different rifles, two different sight pictures. They all react a little different. It can be done, okay? If you take the time and to do the research and spend the time to perfect the ammo, which I have done, okay? And it's time and money. And I've gotten that good with the Carcano, because a lot of people say these things are trash rods and you can't hit the broadside of a barn with them and all this other stuff. And even at $250, it's a junk gun. That's not true. You can master the weapon if you put forth the time, the effort, self-control, learn. And again, like I said, I use quality components. I don't cast my bullets out of scrap lead, okay, for any of these guns. And lead right now, I've checked it, it's over $3 a pound. So you gotta figure, if you're buying cast bullets or say, hey, cast me up some bullets, okay, calculate that it's the cost of the material is if not 3.25 a pound, depending on the alloy. Actually, the alloy's like hardball and that, it could be $3.50 a pound. Excuse me. So, you know, you see my whole staff and equipment here. I'm hand casting this. So if you tell me you want bullets by the 100, you know, or whatever, for me to make 1,000 bullets is a day or two of work just casting them. Then I got to go and lube them, size them, get them ready, count them, and pack them. You know, the bullets are probably about as accurate as you're going to get for the intents and purposes, but it's no easy feat. There is no machine. I don't throw a switch and then go in and watch TV as the bullets are cast, or, you know, some automated machinery. It's all done by hand, and I sit here at this table and do it. Okay, so, you know, I don't mind supplying you stuff, okay, in limited quantities, but you're going to pay me for my time and trouble, okay, which a lot of people have approached me, and when I tell them what I need, ooh, okay, well, fine, go get it somewhere else, I don't care. But I'm going to start working on several projects here. The Russian Baradin, I'm going to go back because I got some of these single shots, the Italian Vetterli 10.4 millimeter. I'm going to do 2 loads. I'm going to go back and try that healed bullet for the single shots, and I got that other weird bullet I got that I shoot in my 87s that really, in this cartridge, comes out. It's accurate and it's good. Another one people have asked about was the Dutch Beaumont. That one, I believe I'm going to have to get a custom bullet mold, because the correct bullet weight's about 340 grains, which you don't really find one with 45-70, and a lot of them are in the 45 caliber, and I'm going to go with a bullet 460 in diameter. And you go, oh, well, if it gets in the cartridge and fits in the rifle, the accuracy is going to be increased. Going with the light bullet is going to change the point of impact. I was doing pretty good at 100 yards with about a 400 grain bullet. But if I lighten that bullet up and get it up to speed, you're probably going to see them sights are set for 200 meters, going to start shooting high. So that's another project I'm working on. And all of this stuff is not easy. Okay, people try to tell you it's simple, but it's not. There's a lot of labor in there. It's much like I've been, during all this time, past year and a half, I have been converting Swiss Vetterlis, okay? And I spent over a year working with a whole bunch of people to perfect this center fire round that will work in any model Vetterli, okay? A lot of work, a lot of time, Had to get a bullet mold, a lot of work in getting this brass correct, okay? I tried different types of brass to speed it up, but it doesn't work in every gun. I had to end up doing some experimentation, and with the help of other people I worked with, have come up with something, but something like this, I'm cutting you a deal at $80 a box of 20, okay? And I might have to raise that up because the cost of the brass and stuff is going up. You know, when I'm paying 75 cents a cartridge and have to work on it, you know, to do 100 rounds takes 2 days worth of labor to get there, you know, I ain't gonna give the stuff away. And there are some cartridges that the base cartridge that you start with, before you start machining it, stretching it, heating it, you know, can go anywhere from $1.50 to over $2. These ones, I did a suggestion there for the Russian Baradin, and it's $2.10 for the base cartridge, and I got to cut off a 1/4 inch of it or something and reform it, heat it, and maybe have to build up the rim. So there's a lot that goes into this. Now, I also had an individual come up, and one of the problems is on a lot of these TS's, this little screw up here is damaged or broken off. He wanted to know if I can make replacement screws. I have to look into it. First of all, you have to determine what the hell the thread is, thread size, and all the other stuff. Well, to do that, you need a thread pitch gauge, and I didn't have one. So that cost 10 bucks. Then I kind of come up and did a quick measurement. This one's stripped out and screwed up, but I kind of got an idea what it was. And in the metric, I still didn't double check the thread size because I don't have the pitch gauge, but on a whim, I got a die that can cut a screw, but that costs $25 to get shipped there. So we're already $35, $40 in the hole, just maybe getting this project started. So that's something I'm also working on. So there's a lot going on. If you're interested in something, if you're interested in a limited amount of ammo, okay, email me. I kind of am not giving away load data because there's a company out there, I think somebody's trying to get load data from me. You know, if you're just an individual and say you want the load data for this, and basically what I will do is I will tell you where I got the load data from, start stop points, bullet, primer, case, and powder charge. But I'm going to have to ask you, you know, for each individual load, like 20 bucks a donation, because I did have to go through about 150 rounds and try 2 or 3 powders before I come up with that. It's not just somebody said, try this, and I load it and, oh, hey. Now, there was a lot of experimentation, and I got it down, and I'm satisfied with the powder and the load that I have, and it works well, like I said. But some guns it works well, and some it doesn't. Okay, so this is another thing about these Carcanos, and if you watched my videos, you'll see where I, you know, you get different reactions from the same ammunition. Okay, it's not the ammunition. The guns are just different. Any of my subscribers and friends, if we're getting back into the black powder, that live outside the United States of America. There's a lot of people in Europe, Canada, Australia, some down South America. Again, any type of information or stuff that you need, because I know, okay, you can't get certain things in that. That is all just like it's always been. We freely trade information because nobody's trying to buy, sell, or do anything different. So all you guys out there, you know, when I get back into these black powder things, you fellas from outside the US of A, go ahead, send me an email. There is no charge for the information. Because I'm not quite sure if you can even get the components that I have, but yeah. And the reason for that is I kind of get pissed. People see me do something and they just ask me, well, what's your logo? And I'll tell them, and no support, no nothing, no thank you. I do the work, spend the time doing it, and they just disappear without a thanks, And the other reason also, I'm not going to be showing how these cartridges are formed and done and all this, is because it takes a lot of time. And when I've done it, like with the Vetterli project, some people get it, some people see what I'm doing and use a different thing. They don't have the tooling that I do, and they try to substitute it, and they don't get the same results. And then when I give them the exact load data, they don't want to use the powder I'm using, they don't want to use the bullet I'm using, and again, and a lot of it comes down to cost. Someone goes, well, this powder you're using, brand X, is more expensive and I can't get it from my supplier than brand B. Okay, so I'm going to use that. Well, I'm not going to go out and redo a whole development because the powder is $5 cheaper or $8 cheaper a pound. Okay, the reason I use certain powders is because of the results, not the cost. The reason I use Hornady crimp-on gas checks is not because of the cost, it's because of the results. Okay, let me explain it to you that way. And another thing, don't email me and tell me, well, you're doing this, you're reloading this, and you're going about it this way. See, I get a lot of people saying, well, I'm doing this, this, and this. They're using a different case, they're using a different technique to form it, and they're using an assemblage of dies to kind of half-ass do it. Okay? I have the actual dies that are made for the exact cartridge. And yes, some of them are $200, $250 a piece for the die set. That's how I'm forming the brass on some of them and getting it done. Okay, I bought some of the RCBS brass forming kits, which those things are all custom order. You used to have to wait 6 months to 8 months, and they cost quite a bit of money. Okay, but you can make the brass, it works, and it makes it uniform and no questions asked, none of this strange stuff. So if you're looking to do things along those lines economically and everything else, please direct your questions to someone else other than me. Okay? Pretty simple. Go ahead and do whatever you feel you have to. Just leave me out of it. Alright, so that's the update. I'm probably going to get back into more of the older cartridges. I'll still be working with the Carcano because right now that's got a lot of people doing it. I may look into making screws and parts. Okay, I may not. Okay, if it's really a pain, I don't have a CNC machine. It's a little manual bench lathe. Everything is done by hand, and I gotta guess, do it, and it's the old-fashioned way. It's very time-consuming even to make one screw. Okay, I don't have a $750,000 machine with dual spindles to where I can press a button and every 2 to 3 minutes a perfect screw drops down into a chip pan. Okay, it takes time to do this. I can do it, I can do it right, but it's extremely time consuming. Okay, I think that's about it. But I would like to thank everyone again. The Carcano Madness thing has increased my views. Actually, one of the videos on the gun crisis and shortage has knocked my graphs out of the charts. I got over 100 and some odd thousand views on it. So it's kind of telling you what people are concerned about. The vast majority of them is this ammo shortage and all this other nonsense. I may have to do an update on that, because the election year does play a large part in people's reaction to this, and like I said, it does not look good. So that's basically where we're at, and that's what I'm intending to do. So, you know, like I said, if there's something I discussed here you're interested in, send me an email. Don't leave it in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and I'll see if I can do some things for you. Okay, if you ask me to do something that I can't do or is too difficult, I'll just tell you that. Okay, so that's about it. And once again, I'd like to thank everybody for staying with the channel, for your support and your input, and stay tuned.